The month of Halloween, October. The rise of fall season. The slow beginning of year's end. Halloween has quite the history. However, the ongoing traditions we live in nowadays involve candy, spooky things, dark things, costumes, and...
pumpkin spice. Or maybe I have gotten the wrong pumpkin spice, because it's starting to say pumpkin pie spice. But, is it the same thing, or did I have the wrong one? Whatever. When would I find... God damn it. I wonder what's the deal with this pumpkin spice thing, anyway. This whole thing with the pumpkin spice when it comes to, like, the fall season. I don't know. Alright. Oh, a lot of you guys may be aware of the logo for this video, because of it being a special occasion type video. So, yeah, a lot of people keep pronouncing Halloween a lot, so that's what kind of caused me to misspell Halloween in that logo. So I'm gonna have to break it to you guys, but that's your fault. That's your fault on that one. Yeah, you did this yourself, so yeah. Alright, here we go. Carefully put this in there. Come on. Yes. Perfect. Come on. Yeah, I think this is the part where we can not shake it too much, but okay. And I know it looks pretty weird. Maybe like, okay. That out of the way. Here we go. Well, that's gonna do. Anyway, guys, how's it going? Today we're going to be talking about holidays, and one of the greatest holidays of October, because that's what we know today. One of the greatest holidays of October. Ladies and gentlemen, Halloween. What is Halloween? Halloween is a huge holiday in October that has been, well, you could say, it's hugely popular. It's known to be part of the fall/winter holidays. Alright, so it's basically the beginning of the grand finale of a year. You could say that. Okay, so you have Halloween, you have Thanksgiving, you have Christmas. Okay, good. So what are the traditions that we live in today? So the traditions that go on in the days we live in today here are, let's go ahead and talk about costumes. Halloween costumes. Okay, so when it comes to Halloween, there's always costumes. You want to dress up as, it can be anyone. You want to dress up as Gumby? Dress up as Gumby. You want to dress up as Buzz Lightyear? Dress up as Buzz Lightyear. You want to dress up as a police officer? Dress up as a police officer. Basically, when it comes to Halloween, costumes. Biggest thing. And when it comes to Halloween, costumes get on sale. And they happen a lot in a lot of retail stores. It's a seasonal thing, so when Halloween's around the corner, more physical retailers like Walmart, Target, Party City, they'll end up giving away, like, or not giving away, what am I, it's not like a sweepstakes or anything, hell no. They end up starting to sell Halloween costumes. They'll take part of an aisle and make this part of the aisle for Halloween costumes. Same with Party City. I guess you could say the same with Target, the same with any retailer that we know of. The only thing I end up finding weird is how apparently I end up finding the Santa Claus costumes only on Halloween. But then yet again, Christmas is like after November and December, and November is after October. I don't get it. But anyway, if you're wanting to do holiday specials and somebody wants to dress up as Santa Claus, if you want to have someone dress up as Santa Claus, now's the fucking time. Another thing when it comes to Halloween, of course there's Halloween parties, there's holiday parties, so there's no surprise there'll be like house parties related to Halloween, just like there's going to be house parties related to fucking Christmas. Do they do Thanksgiving? No, they do Friendsgiving. There's Friendsgiving. Also, there is another tradition when it comes to Halloween that makes Halloween unique. It's called trick-or-treating. Trick-or-treating is when you dress up in a costume, you go to a neighborhood, you go door by door, knocking on the front door, having someone open the door for you and be like, trick or treat! And that person is supposed to give you free candy. That's right. However, people have used trick-or-treating for malicious intent, such as poisoning the candies and of course, somehow sneaking in razor blades, or somehow sneaking in notes insulting someone based on their weight. I've seen that happen. But, yeah, things go and they do backfire. Okay, so let's talk about the theme of Halloween. The theme of Halloween is dark, spooky, edgy. 3 of the keywords, alright? 3 of the keywords of the theme. And it has, like, you have the dark, spooky, edgy stuff, okay? However, a lot of costume choices seem to end up missing the point. They seem to end up, like, not going along with the theme, and that is a common habit when it comes to costumes for Halloween. Okay? I mean, dress up as a shark, dress up as a police officer, dress up as a T-Rex, dress up as a Ghostbuster. Well, you know what, actually Ghostbusters. Just scratch that out. Yeah, Ghostbusters related to Halloween. So, you know what, just let it pass. I know it's a comedy thing, but it's about hunting down ghosts and all that stuff. Okay, you could dress up as a knight, you could dress up as a wizard, but here's the thing about dressing up as that. They're a little bit too lighthearted, and they don't actually fit the theme of Halloween in general. The costumes, yes, they're good for, they're really good for, like, comedy skits, indie movies, basically, like, and also just for shits and giggles, or LARPing, whatever. But for Halloween, meh. Now, I can be a total bahumbug like I was back in 2013 Halloween and be like, oh, what's the point in celebrating Halloween when it's gonna backfire? Oh, look, it backfired, I told you so. Oh, holidays always backfire. Oh, yeah, this, all that. Yeah, that shit kind of happens. And here's the thing I gotta realize in the end. When it comes to the pranks and all the stuff that usually goes wrong at Halloween, they end up happening outside of Halloween anyway. So, it's not like it's a thing that only happens in Halloween. It's just like the thing that's just, it's just gonna happen outside. It's also gonna happen outside, so I don't know what the hell is I fucking... We could talk about our other Halloween traditions and how we end up using Halloween as an excuse to do, like, horror movie marathon and horror video game video game marathon or both marathon. Basically, it's just us playing survival horror games and just basically watching horror films. So, I mean, we could do that outside of Halloween. Yeah. Okay, and Halloween... Yeah, there's Halloween specials. And horror movies and horror games, they do end up happening outside of Halloween. So, yeah, it is kind of a thing. But if you want to use Halloween as a reason to basically do something, like I said with pranks, people, they're going to do... Halloween is just a reason for people to just pull pranks, just like with the horror movies and the horror games. It's just a thing where they can do, like spooky, they can watch, like, spooky movies, they can play spooky games, but also they can pull off, like, spooky pranks or scare pranks. That, again, with the scare pranks, like I said, that happens outside of Halloween. But, however, Halloween, basically, in the end, it's just another reason for people to end up doing something that... Yeah, it's just a reason for them to prank and watch horror movies and play horror games. So when Halloween is just around the corner, another thing that happens, that ends up happening, is the pumpkin spice. The pumpkin spice rises. It's like a seasonal thing. That's a good burp. Anyway. I don't even know either the pumpkin spice, especially the apple cider flavor. Okay, I have no idea if the thing is, when it comes to seasonal items and pumpkin spice and apple cider, they'll tend to do this for like only October, or either that, or they'll probably do this for like the entirety of October, November, and December. So yeah, I'm trying my best to make sense of things, so... I never have done that before when it comes to Halloween specials. You know what? We should be taking a look at video games that have the theme dark, spooky, and edgy. Know what I mean, guys? Let's do this. Let's get this on the fucking road, guys. Alright. Let's see what we got. Oh, good. Perfect. Or you know what? Haha! House of the Dead 2. Look at that. I know it's not like a survival horror game, but it's kind of fitting with the Halloween theme. I mean, all you're doing is just getting out of your own way and shooting zombies. I know what we're in for. I know what we're getting ourselves into. Let's get that start button. Yeah, it's oh, you can hear that. You could hear that mini narrator saying the title, The House of the Dead. Let's do this, kids. The House of the Dead 1 was released in arcades, but then it was brought home to consoles on Saturn and Windows PC. But also, the game also gained a sequel called The House of the Dead 2, and The House of the Dead 2 would then appear on the Sega Dreamcast. And yes, it is as fun as the first game. It's basically just like as the first game. You just go in, shoot up zombies left and right, blow up zombies, dismember them, blow their frickin' head off. Basically what you need to do, get to them before they get to your ass. And also, there's going to be some civilians that you need to have rescued, and they're going to be really in danger, so you have to shoot the zombie that's, like, chasing the survivor down before it's too late, before he gets killed off. And a lot of times, the more survivors you rescue, the more likely you're going to get bonus health, and that is a good thing. However, there are times where you can rescue someone who's going to give you a bonus health, and that's pretty cool. And of course, there's going to be some enemies that are going to require some patience. There are some or unless you know you have the accuracy to do so, the game is going to have boss fights that can be very entertaining, especially the magician boss from the House of the Dead 1, which is very entertaining. It's a recurring boss fight, but however, they end up becoming memorable when it comes to fighting the magician. When it comes to the graphics of The House of the Dead 2, it is a huge step up compared to the previous title, and of course the music is also a step up to the previous title, and also there is some voice acting that is so cheesy. It ends up being way too cheesy. The voice acting gets memed on a lot, but however, it is House of the Dead 2, and basically House of the Dead 2 being a huge step up compared to House of the Dead 1. And yes, it is a fun sequel. It is as fun as the first one. It is as great as the first one. It is as addicting as the first one. You do have the classic traditional light gun gameplay that you all know and love. It's the great fun. What it's all about is just grabbing a light gun and shooting zombies left and right, blowing out their limbs, blowing out their heads, taking on whatever big challenging behemoth you're going to be up against. And yeah, The House of the Dead 2 is worth collecting, especially the first one. I mean, the House of the Dead series in its entirety is worth getting a hold of. Alright. Alright, perfect. So there. What else can we try out? Ah! Chakan. Alright. Ah, yes. Haha. Chakan, the Forever Man for the Sega Genesis. It's kind of like a underrated hidden gem, but however, the reason why this game ends up getting underrated, I'll address that later. However, the story revolves around a duelist who's kicking everybody's ass left and right, and basically he ends up fighting Death himself, and Death got wrecked, and as a reward, the duelist has gained immortality, but it turns out the grass wasn't greener in terms of immortality, and he wants rest. He wants to RAP. However, he does find this loophole, which he goes out on this adventure. And of course, it's an action platformer game, so you're operating with a guy with blades. Alright, so the game does have a free roaming aspect. You can go to whatever freaking level you want in any order. But however, another thing to know is that each level has a part A and a part B. But however, there's going to be paths that are going to require, or they're going to recommend, like, certain items, or let's just say certain power-ups also. Also, Death kicks you out of the level, and running out of times makes you kind of like restart the level from, I'm suspecting, point A, or part A. So you have to start all the way over from the beginning, I am suspecting. I have ran out of time, and I have got kicked out. So you do have unlimited lives, you do have unlimited continues. It's just that, just know that you have to start over from the beginning, and your ass, if you run out of time, you're gonna get fucking kicked out and start over from the top, if I'm correct. Also, another thing to note around here is that this game can be really, really challenging, and there are challenging games, but however, it doesn't help that the game does have some issues in terms of controls and enemy hitboxes. It's kind of like to the point where you're going to have to work with the game's flaws with controls and hitboxes to get through. And yeah, it can get pretty annoying and pretty tedious. Now, another thing to note and another thing you can get a hold of is items. You can collect these potions, and you can mix and match potions. And when you mix and match potions, some combinations will give you like power-ups, some combinations will give you invincibility, heals, or basically invincibility. I already covered that. Basically, it's going to give you varieties. And however, when it comes to clearing a level, so far I do get like a weapon as a reward. And like I said, this is where this whole path requiring like recommended or required items kick in. It's like you're going to have times where you're going to have no idea where the hell to go. You're going to be stuck where it feels like, okay, there's no way there's no way forward, there's no way back, there's no way up and down. However, that is unless you get a hold of this required item or get a hold of this recommended item that will get you through the level. So, however, the game is still worth a shot, especially when the game has the dark and atmospheric design and sound design that's like fitting with the game's theme. And it does fit in with the game's theme very well. And yes, you're going to expect a challenge. However, you're going to expect some issues that you're going to have with the controls at times. But however, on the bright side, it is a game that you got to work with. It is a game that you got to learn. A game that pretty much involves trial and error, basically. And pretty much it does have its reward when you go ahead and clear a level. Alright. Gotta take my quick break. Let me find the next game and we're all set. So, what are we gonna do? Ooh, I already covered Castlevania Origin. Maybe not Origins, Castlevania Bloodlines. Aha! Nice. Nightmare Creatures. What I got from the Game On Expo. Oh. Someone's trying to... Alright. Somebody's trying to call me. Yo, what's going on? What do you mean? It's regarding the Devil of Entertainment. What? Alright, so... But I'm not going to let it bother me at all. Right now what's important is that I should pop in Nightmare Creatures and have fun with this. Oh man, this has been like a long time, and yeah, I'm going to have to get the hang of the controls again. This is Nightmare Creatures. I remember playing this a lot when I was a kid on the Nintendo 64. Never have I ever ended up getting the PlayStation 1 version of this game. So, what is it about Nightmare Creatures? Well, the story revolves around some jackass or some asshole or whatever insult you want to toss at him. He's pretty much flooding London with monsters, and it's up to two people to basically go up and kind of like fight these monsters and find this asshole and fuck his shit up. Now, this is a 3D hack and slash game that does have like a dark atmospheric tone to this, and it does have like the feeling of, okay, something's gonna surprise you, but not really. But there's gonna be times where the game does surprise you with a lot of stuff. Now, it is a 3D hack and slash game, and of course, it is a beat 'em up. Well, I would say beat 'em up because I'm playing as the guy with the freaking staff. The other character is a female with a sword. However, when it comes to Nightmare Creatures, it's all about fighting monsters left and right, and also it's all about dismembering your enemies and watch your enemies satisfyingly chop in half, or basically have this guy with the staff here like karate kick a zombie's torso off, or you can chop somebody's arm off, you could blow somebody's arm off, whatever. Or some monster, basically. It's kind of... there's items which you can use, because the game does have an inventory, and they do have items which you can collect. There's going to be items that heal you. There's going to be items that grant you, like, an extra life. And this game does have lives, so you do have 3 lives. So you could get, like, extra life. And also, the game does also have firearms and explosives to utilize against your enemies. And, however, when it comes to the controls, they do need to get used to, especially when it comes to combat, but as soon as you get the hang of it, good. The game is made in some kind of way where it does control kind of weird or something like... Yeah, it does control really kind of weird, so really, to be honest with you here, you're going to have to get the hang of fighting monsters one at a time. And if you're not careful, you're going to end up fighting 2 monsters simultaneously, and there's nothing you can do about it. So be really, really careful. Also, there's hidden areas of the game that pretty much grant you some extra items. Utilize that. And of course, you do have the dark atmospheric graphics, and of course, you do have the sound design, you do have the music that does fit in well with the game's dark and atmospheric themes. This game did get a sequel, Nightmare Creatures 2, but I have that game on the Sega Dreamcast. However, Nightmare Creatures is just an overall underrated franchise. It's a hidden gem for PlayStation and Nintendo 64 collectors, so get a hold of that. I don't think Nightmare Creatures 2 is on N64, but I do definitely know that Nightmare Creatures 2 is on Dreamcast since I do have that. I've been wanting to play Nightmare Creatures again for a very, very long time, and the fact that I got to play Nightmare Creatures again in the year 2017, great. You know what? Let's do some VR games. Where are you? Ah, VR. It's more easier to just go through VR since... Aha, there you are. Okay, perfect. Now I just need to open up the... Alright, now where on earth are we? Okay, now how's this work? Remove the control stick and... Alright, give me a second. Alright. Whoa. Okay, so, don't mind, the lovely death montage you see here. Anyway,
Holy shit, I'm falling.
Welcome to Euclidean. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Euclidean. So Euclidean is a survival game where basically you're falling. And another thing to note is that the goal of the game is that to complete a level, you have to go and get a hold of one of those weird little pearl things that are sitting on a pedestal, and it has this blue aura glowing around. And here's the situation: the environment you're in. All right, if you touch anything else but that orb with the blue aura, everything will end up killing you. You fall into a rock and you die. You fall in this weird triangle monster, you die. Or when this weird geometric shaped thing kills you and you're dead. Yeah, it is it is kind of crazy. Where the survival horror elements for the game kick in is that everything is really dark, and another thing to note is that the lighting, you do get this like you do get like this little glow for like 1 second, and it's gone, and it's coming from those little pedestals with the blue aura on it, or one of those little pearls with the blue aura around it, and that seems to be the culprit behind it. And what it would do is that it would glow for like 1 second, and it would pretty much light up your path for 1 second. After that, okay, you gotta have to remember. However, there is another thing to note, is that if you hit on the right bumper on your PC gaming gamepad, you can just totally get like this night vision mode that you have. But however, it has a very longer cooldown. Now, with this idea of falling, and you have to avoid touching everything, including the monsters. You have to make sure you're out of the monster's way, and everything in the dark. You can feel the tensity of the game. and really, you're avoiding monsters left and right, and you're trying to avoid all the rocks and all of that. You're trying to look in all your directions. It could get really, really intense. This game is basically really cheap to get a hold of. It's $5. However, still, it's worth it if you end up getting curious about the game. It's worth giving a shot, and really, as soon as you start getting the hang of the game, and start getting the feel of the game, you're going to start enjoying this. Look at me dying left and right, and trying to get the hang of the entirely dark thing, in which the pearls only glow like 1 second, and after you have to wait a bit, and before it glows again. Love that environment. Oh man, all these deaths left and right. You know what I mean? Man, that was a weak-ass burp. Well, I could see the survival horror in the game, but really, I think my issue with me is trying to basically get the hang of maneuvering through things. Yep. Alright guys, I'm back. Had to go on dinner break. Sorry about that. Anyway, yeah, interesting VR game. However, the art style of it does remind me of quite... Aha! Okay, fine. It's not gonna have the familiarities compared to the last one, but it has the retro style-ish kind of thing, while, yeah, I think that was a pretty bad comparison. What was I thinking? Devil Daggers is a dark, gritty, arcade-style, first-person shooter survival game. And basically how that works is that you go ahead and start collecting these weird daggers here, and also the main point of the thing is how long can you last in this game. Now, one hit and you're dead, and you're only stuck with one kind of weapon. You have your rapid fire and you have your burst shot. If you wish to score high or de-escalate hordes, make sure you take out enemy generators by taking out the red jewels on those generators. And however, when it comes to hordes coming out of these generators, get ready. Because one hit and you're dead, and you're going to get bombarded with plenty of enemies. Now, the longer you go, now I have gone longer before, and I did fought against a boss fight. And I ended up basically taking this dagger that will transport me to the next area to where, because basically how this works is that you survive multiple waves after multiple waves, and you get a boss fight, and then it does the repeat of all that. Now, when we're talking about design, I'm talking about the retro style feel. It has a retro style feel, but it also has a dark and gritty feel. With Devil Daggers costing $5, this is great for when you're on a budget, but also, even though you may have money left over, Devil Daggers is just worth a shot. It is worth the challenge, and really, it's one of those things where you can play with, okay, how far can I go? How long can I go with this thing? It's simplistic, and of course, easy to learn, but however, it's going to be one of those hard-to-master games, and also another thing to know, one hit, you die. $5, great game. Check it out. Alright. You know what? How about one more game? You know what? One more game, but VR. Wait a minute. Something's not right. You can host me here. And yet, you still disappoint. Well, I knew it would be inevitable, but I never expected that to be sooner. And you go ahead and turn the lights off on me. That's brilliant. Okay. Alright. Well. Can't do one thing without one thing going horribly wrong. Seriously, what does the devil of entertainment want with me this time? You're too late. It's November 1st already. It is already too late for you to do a Halloween special. Halloween has long gone a long past. You have disappointed me for the last time. Okay, what the hell do you mean November 1st I missed out on the opportunity? I was working on the Halloween special way before it was Halloween. That makes no sense. How could time fast forward itself?
Oh, excuses, excuses, excuses. I've grown tired and weary. All you do is nothing but disappoint. You know what, buddy? I'm done. I'm sick and tired of you. I can't take it anymore.
Oh, this is some bullshit. Oh, great. Well, this is not good. Oh, Mom, no, we're still in October. This is bullshit. We're still in October. We're still in October. We're still in October. We're still in October, man. We're still in October. We're still in October. Wait a minute. What the? No shit, you dickhead. Oh, okay. That's good.
As we see Halloween end, so does October end alongside. We now begin to wake up on the 1st of November, the month of Thanksgiving. We transition from the dark and spooky and head into festive holidays of winter season and year's end. The cycle began with Halloween, now will come Thanksgiving, then the holidays of December, then the celebration of the year ending. You had your fun fright party, now get ready for turkey, then presents, then fireworks on the first hour of next year. You had your fun, and now continue on your fun.